Hello, everybody. This is Bruce the Moose with the Bruce the Moose Show. Today, we are going to be reading through some tweets or blue skies, some blues. I don't know what they are, related to the Laura Owens v. Mike Maricini DVRO renewal case, primarily centered around Miss Owens' lawyer or her former lawyer. He was her lawyer in the Owens v. Echard Paternity Case, but he's seemingly not her lawyer in the Owens v. Maricini case in California. Let's get into it. This is an addendum. My full video I made yesterday where I read through some of the posts and replies and discussions on Blue Sky. And I was thinking, I don't know if this video is any good. I don't know if I want to publish it. But today, I was having some coffee and suddenly what do we see? Here we are over on Twitter or X, Seeking Justice for All Victims of Laura Owens. Go check them out on X. And we've got Say It Ain't So. Looks like David Gingras deactivated his X and Blue Sky accounts. Laughing, crying emoji. Someone just can't take the heat. I mean, facts or evidence when it's thrown in his face. Ooh, the heat? You mean the smoke? No, we don't want to say that. Someone needs to stage an intervention for this man. Get him into treatment and please, Arizona State Bar, do your job and suspend his law license. Enough already. Now, what do they mean by enough already? That's what I did not get into in the video I recorded yesterday, which I will append to the end of this video. All right. So you can see that if you are doing weekend chores, doing the laundry, doing the dishes, and you want something to listen to, we'll walk through those tweets. I know a lot of people have told me on the channel they don't have Instagram or Twitter or Blue Sky, so they like it when people make videos reading through these posts and these comments. It gives them something to absorb, maybe while they're doing something else. So we're going to do that. But first, we're going to take a look at this. So this was another Seeking Justice for All Victims of Laura Owens post. See David Gingras. It's not just the, quote, JFC cult who thinks your legal writing is absurd. Lumber Law, which is Law and Lumber, Rob over here. Ian Runkle from Canada, and Nick Starro down here in the lower left, laughing over your David's Shakespearean rhetoric. Yeah, so these guys, I believe most of these guys are lawyers, if not all of them, and they're going through it too. This is the fundamental problem. When the only people we can engage with or observe, not even engage with, just observe speaking in support of Laura are her parents. And literally everybody else we can find looks at this case and just says her case is absurd. That's not a cult. That's just the general public and the court of public opinion. It's just everybody being rational. Okay, so that's what we've got there. Now, before we get into the video I made yesterday, I just want to go over, because I didn't get to these comments in the video from yesterday. These were two comments that I think are just terrible that were made by Mr. Gingras. Let's take a quick look. And I'm going to have to censor myself a little bit here because these are just so loathsome. Seeking Justice for All Victims of Laura Owens. This is an older tweet, so I put it in its own window. It is difficult to even put into words the abomination that is David Gingras. This loathsome and hateful man just posted the following on his Blue Sky account about Omar's wife and kids and about Dave Neal's wife. We only share these because this unhinged lunatic needs to be stripped of his legal license ASAP at Arizona State Bar. Enough is enough. 3 exclamation points. What more will it take for the Arizona Bar Association to do something about this dangerous man? He was arrested for a second DUI months ago, yet his trial has been postponed 3 times, allowing him to continue driving even though he is clearly unstable. Arizona State Bar, disbar David Gingras now. And these are the replies that he made. Here's the first one. He says, if I, as a non-lawyer, I posted AI pics/videos showing Omar's wife/kids being S-word in the neck and K-word, that might be protected speech. Sick S-word is still protected. If I did that and then appeared as a lawyer in a DV case involving Omar's wife/kids, I think someone might argue that's a problem. And then there's the second one over here where he says, imagine Dave Neal's wife was R-word. I posted fake AI videos of the R-word, put them on YouTube, and then I appear in court to defend the R-wordist. You think that wouldn't be a problem? ? Now what he's doing here is he's trying to construct an analogy or a parallel example while he's having a discussion with someone on Blue Sky. The fundamental problem here is that he's involving Omar's family and Dave Neal's family in his examples that include violence and SA and other deplorable actions. And he's putting those people into that imaginary scenario. This is completely uncalled for. It's terrible. It's a horrible thing to do. And all I can say before I play the rest of my video from yesterday is David Gingras needs to keep Omar's family and Dave Neal's family out of his mouth.
He be like, shut the fuck up.
Thank you. All right, guys, Bruce the Moose here, episode 0. We're still looking at the Owens v. Maricini side quest of filings by David S. Gingras, attorney for Miss Owens, or maybe not her attorney. It's hard to say. He's certainly not her attorney in the criminal case. He was her attorney in the Owens v. Echard Paternity Case. Now in this Owens v. Echard Paternity Case, that's over. All the appeals have been exhausted. So we are on to the Owens v. Maricini DVRO renewal case in California. And it's unclear to me if this guy is her lawyer or not. He's filing things in court saying he's not her lawyer. But if he's not her lawyer, he should just leave it alone, I would think. But he's tweeting up a storm today on Blue Sky. Blue Sky, I guess, it's this alternative to Twitter. I don't know. I don't know what to call these things. What do you call them? Blues? Skies? Tweets? I don't know what's happening here, guys. Tell me in the comments. Anyway, we're going to read through some of his skies and the replies. I'm not wearing a disguise. Oh, I don't. This is terrible. Anyway, we're going to see what we can learn from this chaos that's going on the internet. Okay, try to take a measured approach. We're going to try. We're going to give our best. So, okay, 37 minutes ago, David Gingras says, y'all, I thought we agreed truce. It's Friday. Nice words only. PLZ. PLZ? Is it 6, 7? I don't know. Who agreed on a truce? Show me on the internet where somebody agreed to a truce. I don't know. I mean, why do you need a truce to begin with? If you're having a conversation, you can just make your point, and that's fine. It doesn't have to be a big deal. He includes a screenshot here of CM saying, I'm sure Jingy won't be tweeting during today's court session because what? Because what? I don't know. Aurora's friend says, where is this from? I don't see it in the comments here. And, well, Aurora's friend, this is from Discord. So Gingras is hanging out in the Dave Neal fan Discord. I didn't think Gingras was a Dave Neal fan. It's probably not the best place for him to be hanging out if he's not a fan. I'm not a fan of, I don't know what, like cilantro. I don't go to the cilantro Discord. I'm not a fan of like bluegrass music. I don't go to the bluegrass Discord and hang out. Anyway, seems odd to me. Next, we have folks. I am turning notifications off. Okay, that's good. No more debates today, please. It's Friday. Go have a lovely weekend. Hug a cat. Depending upon how sharp the cat is, that might be scary. Try tread carefully. Touch grass. Ooh, touch grass. I've never heard that one before. Say one nice thing about an enemy. Why does he assume everybody has an enemy? I mean, I think he's projecting a little bit there. I'll go first. Omar's voice is ASMR. ASMR. We're talking about Omar's smooth talking voice today. Okay, that's nice. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have. I don't know. I don't want to have any enemies. It's fine. Let's see. Lazy Witch says, I appreciate your appreciation. The inception. I appreciate your appreciation of Omar's ASMR voice. And to say one nice thing, your tiling work for your mom was wonderful. Yeah, maybe this guy should get out of PR, get out of the social media scene, get out of the law scene, and just go do floor tiling. Like a retirement gig or something. That'd be cool. Relaxing. Just get knee protection, because when you're working on flooring, your knees will get worked over, that's for sure. I'm glad you're turning off notifications. Hug your cat and say hi to your mom's cat for me. You appear to be taking credit for your tiling work, and I love a sassy cat. Yeah. Don't we all? Okay, Robert says, David, it's not great to just drop like 10 bombs and then, 10 bombs. We're going to get to them, guys. And then disappear without allowing us to discuss your statements and questions why you are saying what you're saying. It's almost as if you know you'll lose the debate, so you stop before you get started. You've done this on X before, and before and by? Does he mean, well, maybe he just means multiple times on X. Okay. Jingris says, did you see the video I sent you yesterday? We can debate, just not on here, not enough room, and not today. Why is he having a conversation on here then if he's... okay, anyway. And not today, I'm out shopping for a new camera, Insta360. You know who has an Insta360? Our good friend Dave Neal. That's funny. Going to see if I can create some cool shots of Arizona's scenery before I leave. Where is he going? Is he moving to Portugal? Is he... what we really want to know is if he's going somewhere that has an extradition treaty with the United States of America. Like he could go to Cuba or Vietnam or something. They won't extradite. I'm not sure about Portugal. They probably will. But it has that nice Northern California climate. So my money says go to Portugal. Good times. Okay, Robert says, yes, I responded to it. Okay, these guys are having their own little side convo somewhere. That's interesting. Aurora's friend says, I'll go second. I don't like how far you take your analogies, but you are consistent. Yeah, okay. We are going to get to all that very soon. Okay. Next post. Huge hypocrite alert. Just hours after the San Francisco court declined my request to sanction Omar because I couldn't intervene to make that request, non-party Lauren files a request to seal stuff. Stuff. It's a very technical term here. Stuff. Because her fifis got hurt. Oh boy. Maybe she just doesn't want to be in these court filings with a bunch of speculative assertions made against her on the public record. Maybe it's more about that. Clearly written by Omar. Okay, well, I mean, is that a guess? Like, do you have any evidence? I don't know. Also, I don't think it's illegal for a lawyer to ghostwrite a filing for someone. And, it seems like Gingras wrote the entirety of Miss Owens' petition for DVRO renewal because I remember when Lauren tried to read through it on YouTube, he did a copyright strike for the entire thing. And why would he copyright strike the entire thing if he was not the author of the entire thing? Mysterious. Anyway, the previous video I made goes over this document. There's 2 files there that Lauren submitted to the courts. You can check that out. I've already gone through that. Blue Bulldog. All right, Blue Bulldog is here. You posted someone's home address online. Maybe it's an oversight, but that can be very dangerous for that person. You just mentioned you had a stalker yourself who was taking pictures of your house. I don't understand why you put others in similar danger. David, please redact it. And of course, when I went through this document on my video, I used the redaction mousse to cover up all that stuff. So it didn't take very long. And you get to see a little mousse. So what's wrong with that? Amy here says, can you please redact Lauren's address from the court filing you posted? The JFC community has always been diligent about redacting personal information on court documents, including for you and your client. Robert says, well, you aren't a lawyer on the case and have no interest except as a witness. But doing this is essentially you doing lawyer work for Laura by attacking her enemies. So I would say no, also because there is zero proof that the two things are related unless you have proof apart from the timeline. Robert continues, then anyone could argue that the two are a coincidence. Is there something I'm missing in between here? No. And rightly so. So no, I would say don't do it and just stop driving up everyone's fees for things that would be rejected. Just my 2 cents. That's good advice there from Robert. Very good. Okay. And he says, for a lighter mood, Dave Grohl picked a guy from the crowd to come on stage. Okay, so there's a guitar video. That's fun. Let's see, what else do we got here? Fun story. A few years ago, a hacker got into my client's website and demanded $90K not to release private info. The hacker also created accounts in my name and used them to threaten my client. I was able to catch the kid. He was arrested and sent to prison. Okay, that's fine. I don't know what that has to do with anything. Let's see if there's any relevant comments here. Let's see. Bubbles says, people want to know if you know why Laura's beehole is bleeding. Real question. Oh, jeez. Oh, guys, I am not a proctologist. Okay, so I don't know what I can do for this one. Jingra says, A, no clue what you're talking about. Please don't explain. Well, I mean, she filed to extend the date of the court hearing in this case. You would think he would have read the filing. I don't, if he's keeping up with the case. He says, B, gross. Okay, I mean, people are people. Things, medical things happen. We can be adults. Okay. C, fair questions are fine, but don't bring JFC nonsense into my Zen world. What? Nonsense. Bubbles is asking a question related to a filing that his client or former client made. I don't know what he's confused about here. I'll let this one slide, but any JFC darkness is immediately blocked. What? It's like that Harry Potter meme. I attacked the darkness. Well, that's... Bubbles says, I get your response. You should read her response. Yeah, she filed a motion to have the court date further out so she has more time to do a few things, including a medical issue with intestinal bleeding, and that's what Bubbles is talking about here. Even I know this. Oh my gosh. Bubbles says, what was he convicted of? Hacking? Jinger says it was years ago. Years ago. Why are we? What does any of this have to do with anything? Let's see. Bubbles says, yeah, not a cool move on Josh's part. Okay, USA versus Josh. That's fine. I don't think that's relevant. All right, here's some interesting news. Jinger says, okay, got a ruling from San Francisco. Everyone lost. Omar's DQ motion denied. My sanctions motion denied as moot, only because the judge wouldn't let me intervene. So see, he has a little explanation for his thing, but he doesn't have a little explanation for Omar's filing, which I think is a little double standardy. But we can get into it. I can object to this, but probably won't. This is what I was going to offer Omar anyway. But FYI, my position, zero tolerance for lies. And my problem with this guy all of the time is that he says there's a lie. And the problem with a lie is you have to do two things. You have to prove that somebody said something wrong. If I say XYZ, he needs to show XYZ is not true. Okay. And that is just step one. He has to also do step two, which is he has to show that I knew that XYZ was false and that I said XYZ was true because I was trying to intentionally deceive someone. Okay. As opposed to like, I just made a mistake, or I was speculating, or I had an opinion, or a misunderstanding because we're talking past each other. He completely fails to do any of this legwork, this homework, on any of these claims about lies. And then he just says they lied. It's going a step too far without doing the work you have to do to demonstrate a lie. Okay? Show, don't tell. You have to show all the steps of the work. Then you can conclude deductively that there's a lie. He's just telling people that there are lies. He's not showing anyone the lies. So that's my big problem here with this guy over and over and over again. And I just can't stop talking about it. Okay, so what does he got here? There's a screenshot. Owens v. Maricini, October 10th. Tentative ruling. Okay, so we have a tentative ruling, and this thing was going to happen at 1:30. It's already 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time here, so this should be going on or over. So when I'm done recording this, I'm going to check out and see what the status is. This says motion to intervene. Okay, so that's Omar's motion for Maricini. Denied. Intervention requires direct and immediate interest in the litigation. This matter is from a witness to the litigation and is ancillary. Oh wait, that's not Omar's motion. That's Gingras' motion. Okay, so let's see. They're basically saying Gingras' motion is not related, so that's fine. Motion to disqualify denied. This is Omar's motion for Maricini. Denied without prejudice, motion premature. So what they're saying, this is crazy because he just said up here, everyone lost. Well, this isn't a loss. This is like, they're basically saying without prejudice. So it's not like he can't ever say motion to disqualify in the future. He can come back and say motion to disqualify in the future. This part, motion premature. So the judge is just saying, I don't think you're doing this at the right time. Maybe the judge wants to see a notice of appearance or wants to really understand if Gingras is trying to represent Miss Owens or not, and wants to see that before they look at a motion to disqualify. This is sort of like if you want to go to the Italian restaurant and you go at 3 o'clock, but they only open at 4 o'clock, you know, it's not like you don't get to go to the restaurant. You just have to come back when they're open. That's all this is. This is not a loss, actually. This is just a matter of timing and clarification. So I think he's just trying to paint with a bright brush here on this for himself. Motion to strike sanctions, moved as motion to intervene is denied. Okay, that was also Gingras' thing, the first one and the third one. He wanted sanctions and striking Omar's stuff, and that's moot. So that's not going to happen there. This one probably has a lot of interesting comments in it. Let's check it out. Gingras says, since all that jazz is now over, all that jazz, that's a Dave Nealism, I don't have anything more to say. Well, I mean, we just went through a whole bunch of tweets that you had more to say on. Anyway, Omar who? It's Omar Serrato, the tilted lawyer, counsel for Mike Maricini. That's who. I'm not a party. Don't represent either side, have no dog in the fight, wish there wasn't a fight. Okay, so here he's claiming he's not Miss Owens' attorney. This is as of yesterday. All right. I'm just a witness, so please remember harassing/intimidating a witness is a crime, right? Yeah, so that's why I'm not interested in really commenting on his page or trying to have a conversation with the guy, because he's a witness. He might be a litigant. I don't want to talk to him. I just want to analyze the court filings and the PR that he's doing here. That's all I want to do. Let's see. Lina says, so you are not reappearing as Laura's lawyer in the SF case? And we get no answer. Interesting. Bubbles says, Laura really has herself in a lot of legal messes. Surely it would be in her interest to withdraw that DVRO and focus on something that could result in prison time like her criminal charges. This is what I said this morning in my earlier video. You know, her criminal case should really be her main quest, and she should take all these side quests that she's got going on and just jettison them, yeet them, if you will. So I agree with Bubbles there. Susan says, you're being disingenuous. If the tentative becomes the order, the motion to disqualify was denied without prejudice because it was premature. Right, which means you could refile it later if necessary. Your motion to intervene was denied because it was legally infirm. You can't equate the two. Yeah, these two are very different. When he just says everybody lost, he's sort of sweeping that detail under the rug. Now he replies, of course, he said up here, I don't have anything more to say. And now he's back with more stuff to say. He says, okay, So you're saying I just need to reappear in the case, then move for sanctions? In that case, I wouldn't need to intervene, and the judge could then decide what to do about Omar lying. Got it, solid plan, except I'm done fighting, so no. I mean, that doesn't really answer Susan's question. Susan's not giving him advice on what to do. Susan's pointing out that the two results are different when he made it sound like the two results were the same. It's a substantive level matching difference. Bubbles says, isn't this point moot since you can't be a witness and the attorney? Of course, he's going to argue he can be both. Gingras says, I don't think the sanctions issue is moot, just dead for now. Zombies can always come back to life, guys. Watch out. Zombies. Ooh, zombie. Okay, anyway. Zombie. Okay, the DQ issue certainly is moot because I am not representing anyone. Okay, that's good. He's not representing anyone. He's not saying, I'm not going to represent Laura in this case. I technically still could. See, there he goes. There's his out. But I won't. I mean, he says he won't. He could change his mind. He's allowed. And you can't bring a motion based on, well, maybe in the future that might change. Wait until it changes. It won't. Okay, very good. Bubbles says, do you have a flight ticket yet to come to San Francisco, or will you drive? Gingras says, since my parents lived in San Francisco when I was in college at ASU, I've done that drive many times. It's 800 miles one way. That's a long drive. So no, not driving. But keep in mind, Omar moved to dismiss. If that's granted, the case is over, no hearing. Very good, hopefully. So I'm not booking any flights yet. I may not even go anyway. Okay, I mean, that's fine. You can always get refundable tickets or something. I don't know. That's what I would do. Bubbles says, whoa, so can the judge dismiss the case without a trial? Okay, so Bubbles is catching up here. Gingras says, TBH, Omar's writing is so bad, I can barely understand what he's asking for. I mean, come on. What? This is like 5th grade playground trash talk. I mean, if you think it's bad, like find a part that's bad. Oh, he has a screenshot. We're going to check it out and see if it's really that bad. We're going to do it, guys. Let's do it. He filed a motion to dismiss. Okay, and then he has a link. This seems like he's asking the court to toss everything, so no hearing. Okay. But this writing, it's and he's got all the ellipses, and like this ellipsis has 4, and this one has 4, and this one has 3. I just don't like ellipses, guys. I never liked them. It's always like ellipses are like there's a trailing thought that just sort of goes off into silence. You should just finish your thought, put a period at the end of the sentence, keep it short and simple like Hemingway. Go have a gin and tonic. That's how to do it. Anyway, let's look at this. These 2 paragraphs he put in here. Justice calls for Maricini's name to be cleared. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. The order was born of fraud. Also very clear. Short sentences, just like I said. Lifting it now harms no one. So lifting the order, getting rid of the order. The relationship ended long ago. True. Maricini lives in California. True. Owens went to Arizona. True. She chased other lawsuits. True. She ran her fraudulent scheme on others. True. She's now indicted on 7 felony counts by a grand jury. Whatever need she claimed in 2018 was never real. Now, you could argue this, but this is Omar's argument. There was no cause then, there is none now. Okay, that's very clear. Okay, Maricini has moved on. True. He has a wife, 2 children, and a life of his own. True. It is a life Owens wanted, but could never have. Maybe, I don't know. She definitely did say in some of her emails to Clayton Echard that, having kids was one of her biggest dreams in life, so maybe that's true. She should not matter to him now. She should be nothing, a sour memory, fading in the sun of what he has built. Okay, that's a little bit literary. Maybe Gingras doesn't like the literary stuff. But to be fair, Gingras just did a filing where he says, these lawyers doth protest too much. And he's written all sorts of weird things like motions to compel lunch and, made up quotes like, look at me, daddy, I'm a real judge now. So I don't think he's in a place to criticize someone's literary writing. a sour memory fading in the sun of what he has built. I don't think I would have written it this way. It's not my favorite turn of phrase, but whatever. It's one sentence out of these 2 paragraphs. The court holds the chance to end this, that's true, to strike down the wrong, that's true, to guard others from the reach of Owens and her predatory ways. That's the most important part here. We need to set an example. We need to get some good results, some good justice on the books, and move forward so that everybody can be safe in the future. So I like that part. The only part of this I didn't really like was this line on 12 about the sour memory fading in the sun. Maybe you meant sunset. Sunset maybe would have been better of what he has built. Or, well, it's the sun of what he has built. So it's, I don't know, the new day. There's something there. We're going to workshop it, I guess. But it's clearly not as bad. He says the writing is so bad I can barely understand what he's asking for. Give me a break. It's very clear in general. Jingra says whatever need she claimed in 2018 was never real. Quote, there was no cause then, there is none now. She should not. Oh, he's just quoting that bit. Okay. I feel like if you hired someone from Fiverr to write this, you overpaid. I mean, the first 2 sentences and then there is none now. Yeah, I mean, the first 3 sentences, these make sense to me. They're not confusing. Anyway, let's see. Bubbles says, LOL, it reads like a romance novel from hell. A romance novel from hell. That sounds like all of these Owens cases with these men. Schnitzel Ninja, Schnitzel Ninja joins the convo, says, it's a tentative ruling, numbnuts. Oh no, the numbnuts. Oh, get some icy hot. Let's see what she says at the hearing tomorrow. Well, I mean, I would think the tentative rulings would probably just stand, but maybe, I mean, we could be wrong. We could be wrong. Steve could show up and we could be wrong. Let's see. Is this thing going on now? I don't even know. I don't think we're quite there yet in terms of a post-hearing live stream. Jingra says, wow, you have the empty, broken soul of a psychopath? What? Jeez. Damn, dude. Why? And you're dumb? Oh my God, this guy is so rude. Quite the combo. Your parents must have been proud before they abandoned you? What? Does this guy, like, the point is there's a hearing tomorrow. You know, my counter argument was sort of like, well, you know, if there's a tentative ruling, there's probably a more than 50% chance the tentative ruling will stand. That's probably all he needed to say. And he unleashes this litany of insults. This is just inappropriate. No wonder you hide your face. Wow. He is just on the offensive here with Schnitzel Ninja. This is not nice. My cat is so offended he's leaving. TLDR, there isn't going to be a hearing tomorrow unless someone objects. Oh, there isn't going to be a hearing. Well, let's see what Steve says when he gets back from the hearing. If it even happens. All right. What do I do after I obtain the tentative ruling? Underlined. You do not have to appear at the court hearing for the following morning. It says you do not have to. Doesn't say you can't. I don't know. Anyway, let's keep going. And no, I don't plan to object. I don't agree with the ruling. Omar should have been slapped hard. Ooh, sexy. Kinky. But I'm fine with it. I was already going to offer to stipulate to drop both motions, so whatever. This is part of my less fighting plan. I think the less fighting plan would have been to just stay out of this case altogether from the beginning if you never had any intention of representing Laura. I mean, oh my gosh. I know he called into that one status conference as a favor, but he should have just stayed out of it, I guess. But hindsight's 2020. That's just me doing hindsight. Anyway, Schnitzel Ninja says that's a lot of effort for a hot take. It's fair. And a lot of insults. Like those aren't needed. I'll try to contain my awe. And my face, about as important as minor perjury. Sounds a lot like someone else's childhood issues leaking into your keyboard. Oh, snap. Yeah, there may be some projection happening here. I'm not sure. Bubbles says, I wonder why the Daily Mail UK didn't contact you, her fierce advocate. I found it weird Laura told them to call her mom and not you. Have you read the article? This is a good point. The Daily Mail UK, they did, oh my gosh, they did call her criminal attorney, Josh Colesroot, and of course he couldn't offer an opinion. But it was weird that Laura told the Daily Mail to talk to her mom as opposed to her criminal lawyer. If I was indicted on felony charges, I would tell everybody to talk to my lawyer. I would not tell anybody to talk to my mom. That's just, I can't even believe that. Jinger says, nope, haven't read it, but the answer to your question is flipping simple. I don't rep her in that case, so of course she would not tell the media to call me. I've been telling people that for months. Okay, so he's talking about the criminal case, which I kind of agree with. I mean, if the Daily Mail UK wanted to talk about the paternity case, they could have called Gingras. But the paternity case is over. There's really nothing. There's nothing to talk about there. And he says, are you new here? I mean, you can answer a question without being rude. I mean, it's so rude. This Bubbles person has done nothing but ask reasonably good questions. Bubbles says, I am new here. I found out about the woman from this article, then went down the rabbit hole. So Bubbles here saw the Daily Mail article and is going down the rabbit hole asking questions. Okay, that's good. Kimberly says, welcome. It's quite a circus. Robert says, question, it appears that Omar lost simply because you are not Laura's counsel, not because of the merits of the case. Exactly, Robert. Were you to rejoin, it would be relitigated. No, that's why it says motion premature. Is this correct? Question mark. Good question. Jinger says, yeah, the premature thing is confusing. It's confusing? Then maybe you should go to the hearing and ask about it. Oh, snap. Judge might have meant it's premature because I'm clearly not in the case. Whereas Omar kind of suggested maybe I might come back later. Well, you yourself just said you could come back later. So perhaps the judge was like, well, that hasn't happened, so it's premature to assume it will. Or maybe premature may also apply to his argument about the Arizona bar thing. No charges have been filed. Even if they were filed tomorrow, the case will take months to resolve. Mike Marichini's involvement could get tossed early on an anti-SLAPP motion. Until all that happens, the conflict argument is also premature. Interesting argument there. I don't know how well that will work. He's talking about one specific bar complaint. My understanding is he's got about 12 or 13 bar complaints. And his case has been referred to the disciplinary committee. We'll see what they do with that, if my understanding is correct. Robert says, also you keep saying Omar lied, but in my opinion, it all comes down to those three statements, which you do not misstate fact, but merely present it in a way different than what you believe. I would like to, I would like to make a wager with you. If I can point out 5 misstatements of fact from your filings over the last several weeks, each verifiable with a link to proof, will you admit that everyone is fallible and that you lie, even if it was accidental or just a minor misstatement? I mean, I wouldn't, my take is I'm not calling it a lie. If you make an accident, if it's a mistake, if I say, oh, I'm doing math and I get the math wrong, it's not a lie. It's a mistake. It's an error, like a math error. As much as anyone, not doing this to be rude, just to prove a point. What do you say? Gingras says, I'm happy to consider your points with one caveat. If you're planning to bring up arguments / facts from the old Laura versus Clayton case, I won't be able to respond. I've already explained that many times. I don't have authority to talk about the facts of that case. That's another lawyer's job, not mine. What? The Owens versus Echard? He was the attorney in the Owens v. Echard case. He took it through all the appeals. What does he mean he doesn't have the authority to talk about the facts of that case? Why not? Another lawyer's job. What lawyer? It's not the Owens v. Echard case. It's not the criminal case. That's the state of Arizona versus Owens. What is he talking about here? Let's read on. Maybe we'll figure it out. In other words, if you want to claim I said something factually untrue in the prior case, A, I can't respond since I don't have permission to talk about that case anymore. That's interesting. He doesn't have... Who stops him from having permission to talk about that case? And B, you would like to likely bring up facts which I asserted based on what I was told. That's exactly where I can't respond. Maybe he's saying he doesn't want to talk about the Owens v. Echard case because anything he says about that case could come in as evidence in the criminal case, Arizona versus Owens. That could be the angle here in terms of that. That may be where we're going. Having said that, I never lied, meaning I said something I knew was false. Omar lied. So again, he's saying Omar knew something was false, but said the opposite to deceive someone. How is he hasn't proven that. He would have to be a mind reader, or he would have to have some sort of evidence, emails or something, where Omar said, 1 + 1 = 2, and then Omar says in another email to someone else, tee-hee-hee, I'm going to go get one over on Gingras, and he goes and says 1 + 1 = 3. That would be very clear evidence of a lie. So he says, here it is in black and white. He said I only gave written confirmation I was out after he filed his DQ motion. 100% lie. I sent written confirmation I was out on 8/22. He filed the DQ on 8/25. 100% lie. So you don't think somebody could make a mistake, misremember a date or something? How does he rule out these options? He just hasn't done it here. It's very bizarre. Or maybe they're talking past each other about what's being claimed. I filed a motion to disqualify. Gingras said he would not continue representing Owens. August 22nd, August 25th. Okay. August 22nd. I no longer represent Laura in the Maricini DVRO matter. Okay, so that's like no longer as of today. That doesn't say what you're going to do in the future. Oh boy. Let's see. August 25th, Mr. Serrato moved to disqualify. That's right. Filed a motion to disqualify due to an obvious Rule 1.7 conflict. Gingras said he would not continue representing Owens. Gingras then said he would not continue representing Owens and sent written confirmation. Okay, so he's saying these two things are backwards. This one's A before B. This one's B before A. What's the real deal here? I don't know. I think these guys are just, there's an error here somewhere and they can't work it out. So he's just going to go with his favorite answer, which is that the other person's lying, as opposed to doing the homework to figure out where the miscommunication is happening. And this happens in the corporate world or the world of work where you're working with colleagues or other managers and there's a miscommunication. I remember I was in a meeting and someone who was effectively my boss thought that I was making a declarative statement. Instead, what I was doing was asking a question. He starts like yelling at me basically, which I thought was inappropriate. But anyway, eventually I had to come to the realization he thought I was making a declarative statement that I was not making. And I was merely asking a question to get an answer about something we were doing on this project. And once he understood that, it was perfectly fine. Everything was fine. And the only reason that got resolved was because I went off later and did the homework with that person to figure out where the miscommunication occurred. I could have just said, that guy yelled at me, I'm going to HR, he's an asshole, he's a liar, he's a whatever, but I did not. I went and did the homework to figure it out. That's what Gingras doesn't do. He doesn't do his homework, in my opinion. Okay, Gingras says this isn't about any sort of misunderstanding, confusion, or misinterpretation. How do you know? You're just making a claim with no evidence. He knew exactly what he was doing. How do you know? Are you in his brain? Are you a mind reader? Are you a member of Dionne Warwick's Psychic Friend Network? I don't think so. He knew the truth. He fully understood the lie he was spreading. This is about a bad guy. And again, here's this black and white thinking. People, human beings, sometimes they do good things, sometimes they do bad things, sometimes they do things that are open to interpretation. One person might think it's bad, another person thinks it's good. The world is not, yellow hats and green hats. There's no like bad and good. This is very binary thinking. It's very closed-minded thinking. Who thinks he can lie to a court and get away with it. Where is he writing an email to his paralegal saying, tee-hee-hee, I just lied and I'm going to get away with it. Watch me get away with it. Did Omar do that? You have no evidence. Not on my watch. All right, well, like, what are you, the sheriff of Nottingham? Give me a break. You haven't convinced me of anything. You haven't convinced me that it's not a misunderstanding or confusion. You've just made a claim that it isn't. I can claim that aliens abducted me last night. That doesn't demonstrate it. Robert Tass says, I would like to ask straight up, can you guarantee right now that you will not be taking over as Laura's legal counsel again in this case against Mike? In the future, right? Thanks so much for the confirmation. And he doesn't respond. Because that's what it's all about, really. That's why this whole filing is here. Good golly. What a mess. All right, let's go back to the main page. Here we go. Since all that jazz is over, okay, I don't have anything to say. Omar who? Didn't we see this already? So you are not reappearing as Laura's lawyer in the SF case? Again, no answer. There's supposed to be 2 comments here, but I only see 1. It's very strange. Let's keep going. After reading Omar's 473 motion, it's one of the most amateurish pieces of legal writing I've ever seen. Give me a break. This is just... like, what? I mean, you're effectively the opposing party, even if you're not the opposing counsel. I'm just supposed to take your opinion about the writing doesn't matter. Bad grammar, where? Bad logic, where? Bad logic is like if someone says, if A, then B, and they say, well, B is true, therefore I conclude A. That's a logical fallacy. Show me the logical fallacy. Bad law. A judge would have to rule to show that he has a bad interpretation of law. You aren't the judge. You can maybe judge his grammar, but like, so what? You haven't even shown the bad grammar. Bad citation format, bad argument. Well, it's not the argument you would make, but anyone can talk trash. Exactly, you're just talking trash. And you're not backing up your claims with good evidence that would convince me. You could convince me he has bad grammar by pointing out tons of grammar errors throughout his document, but you haven't. Where's your Excel spreadsheet, line by line, enumerating all the grammar errors? You don't have one because you don't do your homework, sir. Oh, it's terrible. Okay, here's what good work product looks like. Okay, what is this? Is this something he wrote or someone else wrote? We don't even know. Who wrote this? What is it? How is this compared to Omar's writing? What's the differences? What is the diff? In engineering and software development, you diff 2 files. It means you find all the differences between 2 files that are close together. Maybe you got a revision 1, revision 3. You're trying to figure out what sentences changed. You run a diff. Did he run a diff? He's done nothing like that here. It's absurd. Gingras, purely for my own intellectual curiosity, I just read Omar's 473 motion, wanted to know how he planned to get around the 6-month time limit of the rule. He twice cited a 2019 case, Weiss versus Othman, that doesn't appear to exist. I'm concerned this site, talk about grammar rules, was hallucinated by ChatGPT. You're concerned it was? There is what? There is a 2024 case with that name, nothing from 2019, but it doesn't contain or support the cited premise. And in the event a case is unpublished, non-citable authority with a red flag in WL. Pure speculation, not fact, but other parts of the brief look ChatGPT generated. So it's just like, what is this speculation? Can someone check this? What the fuck? Here's the unpublished 2024 version of Weiss. Okay, he's looking at 2024. Show me where and it's irrelevant. Shifty Eyes McGee says, found on Lexis, Weiss versus Othman, 2019, decided. There it is. Hello, share please. I posted the 2024 case I found. It would be nice if you'd do the same. I mean, it's right here. It's on Lexis. Or you won't share it because it doesn't say what Omar claimed. Wow, this guy is so aggressive. Like, he's so confrontational in his language. Like, this Shifty McGee merely said, I found it on Lexis. What do you want? Amy says, why should someone else do legal research for you? This person provided you evidence the case is real and not fake as you claimed. Exactly, Amy. Jingler says, I don't have access to LexisNexis. Only Westlaw and something else. Something else? Does he even know? So why doesn't he have access? Is he a lawyer? Why doesn't he have access to Lexis? That's why California This why California don't allow you. This is the guy that talks about bad grammar. Now, to be fair, he's on social media. It's not in a filing. So I'll give his bad grammar a pass. But it's like, bro, if you're going to insult someone for having bad grammar without actually enumerating all the bad grammar and then write a bunch of tweets with bad grammar, come on, man. Let's see. I think this is what he meant to say. This is why California doesn't allow you to cite unpublished authorities. So that's fine. I was just curious to see if Omar was right about the law. From what I can see, he's dead wrong. Well, what do you mean from what you can see? All we see is the name of the case. He's not... Did he go get Lexis and get this case? From what you can see, which is what, nothing? Based on nothing, he's dead wrong? Give me a break. But it's not even my case, so no big deal. Exactly. Why are we even here? Why are we arguing about a case that you're not a lawyer in? This is infuriating. I mean, it's not infuriating. It's frustrating. It's just frustrating. Let's see. Couple things. One, my sanctions intervention motion has been moved out of clerky jail. Ooh, clerky jail. So it should be on the docket now or soon. Very good. Two, the clerk rejected my supporting declaration because of a technical problem. Technical prob. A prob. I don't like these abbreviations. Prob. The clerk asked me to fix the prob and refile the declaration, which I'll do in a sec. I don't like abbreviations, guys. It's almost as bad as adverbs. Not quite, but that's where we are. Oh my gosh. I didn't know one today. Let me know in the comments. I said something in my video earlier today where I went over Lauren Knighty's motions that I normally hate to hear people say, and I said it myself. If you know what it is, put it in the comments. David Gingras says, minor correction, I mentioned a lawyer who was convicted of a federal crime in a case I worked on. My bad, the guy wasn't a lawyer. I mean, that's kind of irrelevant. Did we get a comment on this guy? Gingras said, oh, that is the comment. Okay, so he made a mistake, that's fine. That's all good. It doesn't matter for the case. Let's see, my comments about today's filings in San Francisco. Note, links to the pleadings are in the description. Okay, so he's got a YouTube video. I'm not going to go over this YouTube video. And he's got a Mariah Carey video. Okay. And then this is from 4 days ago. We're just going to go a little bit further and then call it. Because I think where I want to go next is maybe looking at some of his replies to other things, but we're 45 minutes into this Bad Larry, and I want to break it up maybe. For you cult members lurking, and again, there's no cult. A cult is an organization that has, a strict hierarchy, and then it will exert control over its membership, like behavioral, information, thought, and emotional control. Control over its membership. Nobody controls me. Nobody tells me what to do, what to think, how to feel, what information I can and cannot possess. There's just no cult. Barring unforeseen delays, I'll be filing 2 pleadings in San Francisco today since I'm correcting false info published by the other side. Again, he makes claims that things are false, but he doesn't say what it is. I will share links here as soon as they're filed. Okay, that's fine. And maybe a video explainer, or maybe not. Aurora will decide. Okay, and then we got his cat. Cat's looking good. I think we're going to call it here, guys. We didn't get to the bulk of what I wanted to get to on Blue Sky today, but I think we'll get there sooner or later, maybe tomorrow. If you stuck around this long, I am Bruce the Moose. Bruce the Moose Show, episode 0. As always, if you've stuck around this long, thanks for your time.